Welcome back, warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. We have so much to go over, warriors. There's this whole thing with this Signal app mishap with Pete Hegseth, right? JD Vance and some other folks. And it's supposed to be a secure app. I know you heard about that, but is it just another hoax? Then we got a race hoax. This is just a live stream about hoaxes and some other things and crazy Karens, lefties running out here verbally attacking MAGA people. We've got some things to go over today, but before we get started, we're going to go ahead and start off with a word of prayer. Dear God, we thank you so much, Father, for your grace and your kindness and your mercy. We thank you for the opportunity to just belong to you and that we do belong to you. And we thank you for hearing our prayers and our fast today. We pray that it was honorable and pleasing in your sight. And we believe that you will protect our country from all the evils that's trying to destroy it, Father. We ask for your protection all around and in every way. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Hello, everyone. You guys, don't forget to smash that like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the all notification bell. All right. So who do we have? We've got the unusual suspects. We've got Michael Rodriguez. Hello. Proud American. Hello. And also we have Iron Ear, June Stanley, Rhonda E. What? You guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I really appreciate you all for showing up for me. Now we got to go ahead and get started, but don't forget to smash like, comment, share, subscribe, and all the things. I'm going to start off with a Black woman whose eyes have been opened, okay? No one that we know of, but she is dropping some words of wisdom. Okay, so let's just check her out. And I got some other great clips that I want to share with you all today. This is really, really good. Now, some of this, her language, you know, these folks now, they are spicy. She's using colorful language, okay? Don't blame me, but we're all adults here. If you're sensitive, just, you know, mute it for like 1 minute and you don't have to hear it and come back, okay?
Since y'all love identity politics so much. At this point, I'm convinced that if you still voting Democrat and you Black, you are under a generational curse. It ain't working, boo-boo. It's time to switch it up. It is absolutely insanity for you to keep voting for the same exact thing and expecting different results. It ain't working, babe. Give it up. I literally used to go in there and just vote Democrat because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Y'all don't do that. Don't be me. Look that shit up. See what is going on. Find out policies. Get away from identity politics. It is destroying our community. Stop voting with your emotions. Vote logically. Democrats operate off of your emotions. They are playing with your emotions.
All right. And I just got to stop it right there because she uses another word that I can't. They'll get me for that one. And it says walk away, hashtag walk away. The Democrats are fighting for the economic decline of our country. They really are. I mean, they are very destructive. And I don't have to tell you, but these folks mean us no good. They mean us no good. And I really hate the fact that they have such a grip on the media and all and the things like that. And they have all this help to form a false narrative. And it looks like we're the crazy ones because the news and everything you look up online is going to support the crazy narrative. But she goes on to talk about the guy that was running for governor of Florida, Andrew Gillum, a Black man who ran for governor of Florida against Ron DeSantis when Ron DeSantis ran the first time. And this man got caught up in drugs, messing around with twins, what was a man, really. I'm like, what? Smoking all kind of drugs. And I said, oh my gosh. It's like God is showing. And I was rooting for Andrew Gillum. When I saw that, I said, Florida, y'all got blessed. You got spared. We're still dealing with rhinos in Georgia, but you guys got a real one in Governor Ron DeSantis. That's just my opinion. I know he may have done some things that people don't like, but for the most part, he's really looking out for you guys. But I got to show you, and remember, we're talking about hoaxes tonight. Okay, there's a lot of hoaxes going on. And I am going to go ahead and just get into this. And I thank you guys again for joining. Don't forget to smash like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. Because oh my goodness, guys, I got to share this really good clip. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. This is about on the New York City subway train, right? And there is this woman get all up in the face of a man because he has on a Make America Great Again hat. Okay, she is all up in her feelings. You know, demon rats are known for getting all up in their feelings. Oh, they just love doing that. They just really do. Bless their hearts, as we say in Georgia. Bless their hearts.
That's why he won. People like you. That's why he won. That is why he won, because the people like you need to stop it.
And I just want you to know she about to get a little bit of reaping and sowing. She's about to reap what she sows. This man is not even bothering her. Watch this, y'all.
How can I be racist? If you He's a racist. How can I be racist? No, he's not racist. I just why are you wearing that hat?
And the best bit is about to come, because this MAGA-hating loser is about to land flat on her face. Literally.
Well, this is my stuff. I hope you enjoy the hat.
How good is that? Can you believe?
Oh my gosh. Y'all, that, first of all, why was she bothering him? I said, that's how crazy these people are. And then she gonna run after the man. He didn't touch her. He ran away from her. It was all her fault. That was her fault. That was all on her. That was on her. She deserved that one. She should have left him alone. He wasn't messing with her. He wasn't messing with her. See, I'm going to back it up just a little bit more and just kind of play this again, because this is what you call reaping and sowing, okay? Sowing and reaping, rather.
Can I be racist? If you He's a racist. How can I be racist? No, he's not racist. I just why are you wearing that hat?
And the best bit is about to come, because this MAGA-hating loser is about to land flat on her face. Literally.
Well, this is my stuff. I hope you enjoy the hat.
How good.
Oh. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, girl, you landed on some concrete. I hope she's all right. But this just goes to show you, you don't do this. Don't mess with people. I say don't mess with people. What are you guys are saying? Ask me this, Linda B. Why is that they always using our black females? This say, I know, y'all, I'm so sick of it. You got Jasmine Crockett out here in these streets acting ghetto. I agree with you. We're the person of choice to use at this point. Over half the country voted for Trump. Is she going to fight us all? She is a bully. Do you think she will bring that rubbish to me? Hell no. I remember that. You guys are wonderful. You guys are amazing. So I am going to go ahead and show you some more stuff, because I just can't understand. I mean, I do get what the Democrats are doing, but you would think by now that people will honestly see their games that they're playing. I mean, they are literally playing games. This is the party that sent out text messages the day after the election telling Black folks on college campuses that you have to report to pick cotton. And people was up there believing it. And you see, nobody actually ended up picking cotton. It's just a scare tactic. I mean, when are we actually going to get this? All right. And you heard the sister at the beginning. She was like, I'm believing now. If you vote Democrat, you just under a generational curse. Okay. You just under a generational curse. Okay, this is like a little meme kind of situation right here. This is like a meme with look at their faces. You got JD Vance and AOC, and this is talking about 2028. And look at the number 28 on the column right here. Look at that. Like it's talking about 2028, when JD Vance and maybe AOC will be running. Now, you know that was funny, y'all. I'm good for a laugh every now and then. You guys think I'm goofy anyway. But I will just say, I don't see anything on the left that they got to run for in 2020. I mean, who they going to put up? Jasmine Crockett, AOC? What do they have? They're going to use a female of color. Okay, not saying necessarily a black person, but it will be a female of color or somebody of color, some kind of minority checkbox they're going to check. Maybe Pete Buttigieg. I don't know, but they typically, that's just how they run. That's just how they roll. Now, the next thing, oh my goodness. Y'all saw this woman with this hoax, with this noose, right? This black woman, I know. Oh Lord, another black woman. Well, you know, people like me and Candace Owens and April Chapman, that we do exist, okay? And that sensible black woman, even though she was using colorful language, her eyes have been opened. You know, we have sensible, smart people out there. Lots of us. You've got Carol Swain. You've got a ton of us. And I just want to shout out. I know she has passed. It's been a couple of days now, and I didn't talk about it. But Mia Love, she passed recently at the age of 49. She was a Republican politician, and she passed recently, I think, of cancer. So keep her family in your prayers. I did not want the week to go out without me acknowledging that. And she was very sensible and articulate. I mean, we've got lots of intelligent black females, but the ones that get the most attention are the ones that's acting ghetto. You notice in the media, they'll have the black women acting ghetto with a bonnet on their head, and you're only supposed to wear that outside, or I'm not outside, but indoors when you're getting ready to go to bed. But they love putting us out there in these streets looking crazy. But I want to show this right here about this woman and this whole race hoax, another race hoax. And we got to go over a little. I always try to fill in my videos with a little bit of history, but, you know, letting you guys know that this is like an ongoing thing. It's not just black people blaming white people for something. It's not just that. We've had other race hoaxes, more serious ones, you know, way back in the day with Susan Smith, when she unalived her 2 toddlers because the man she wanted to date said he did not want children. And Susan Smith blamed it on a black man. And we found out that it was all a hoax. And I think she's in prison still serving time. That was absolutely crazy. But people still play that game. Oh, they want to just throw the attention away from themselves. But this woman right here doesn't even have a good reason for any of this. Her name is LaTarsha. Anyway, I'm just going to let you hear this. It's a race hoax. It's a race hoax.
When Black lives are under attack, what do?
A call for action and fight for change.
We will not be silenced.
Community members and leaders made their voices heard in front of Allentown City Hall Monday afternoon.
Just to think that people have to go to work in fear for their lives.
Since Friday, Allentown police continue to investigate an item resembling a noose found on a city employee's desk.
This egregious act is not just an affront to one individual, but it is an attack on the entire community.
Several spoke during a rally, calling for transparency, prevention, and an immediate federal investigation among a list of demands. This incident, community members note, is not the first racial discrimination issue City Hall has dealt with. Josie Lopez is a close friend of the victim.
They're always a community leader, always pushing for equality. They might be bruised right now, but they are not broken.
The victim is not being named due to safety concerns.
Our colleague was threatened. This was an act of terror. This was a hate crime.
All right, so you got these people of color out here in the streets talking about a hate crime. This is an act of terror. I got to tell y'all a true life story. I know I'm going to get back to it, but I promise you this is good. So listen to me. And don't forget to smash like and comment. So I have a cousin that lives up in Virginia, and his wife told us that in their neighborhood, or maybe not their neighborhood, but in one of the very nice neighborhoods, and they live in a very nice neighborhood. But this man, it was a black man, and him and his wife, they're both black, I believe. And the wife wanted this big fancy house, and they really could not afford it, but he did it anyway because she wanted the house, and they got behind on their payments. And next thing you know, he actually vandalized their own home and torched it. Okay, and said that, look, racist white people didn't want me in their neighborhood, didn't want me. I don't know if he burned the house. He might have just put racial slurs and things. I think he might have committed arson, though, if I'm not mistaken. He put all kind of racist slurs, you know, the N-word and all of that all over the house. And he went around to his white neighbors who said, oh no, this is horrible. We're going to find out who did this. We're not like this in our neighborhood. We're so sorry. They gave him money. They went looking around to try and find this horrible, racist, allegedly white person who did this. Come to find out, the man did it to his own home because he couldn't afford the payments. And I'm just like, you mean to tell me he took money, had these people up in arms, and they just going around just trying to do whatever they can, raise the money for him, raise money. I wonder if he gave that money back. He was acting so egregious. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but this is something that happens. Okay, this happens. People commit these hoaxes. That just reminded me of that hoax. And white people do it too. Everybody does it. Okay. But this woman happens to be, black, and she committed this hoax. Now we're going to find out, how is this exactly a hoax? Okay. What exactly happened here? We want to know exactly what happened. So let me find this clip. I'm going to show you now. Here it is right here. Oh, this is a hoax.
Is to provide an update regarding the Noose investigation. I want to take a moment to thank the following agencies who assisted in this case: Lehigh County District Attorney's Office, the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Allentown Police Department conducted a thorough investigation, including interviews of persons, analysis of evidence, and consultation with the District Attorney's Office of Lehigh County. As a result of the subsequent investigation, LaTarsha Brown was charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, a misdemeanor of the second degree, and false reports to law enforcement, a misdemeanor of the third degree. As in every criminal case, the fact that a warrant has been issued or a complaint has been filed is merely an accusation. The defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law. I'm now going to ask Captain Milkovich to provide a summation of this investigation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Milkovich, Criminal Investigations Division. On January 10, 2025, at approximately 7:11 a.m., Allentown City employee LaTarsha Brown arrived at her office on the third floor of City Hall. At approximately 7:38 a.m., Ms. Brown notified the Allentown Police Department that she discovered what she believed to be a noose on her desk upon arriving at work. Officers assigned to the Community Outreach Unit, Crime Scene Identification Unit, and Criminal Investigations Unit responded, initiating a criminal investigation to identify the individual responsible for placing the noose on Ms. Brown's desk. During the investigation, video surveillance and building access control records were reviewed to identify city employees present on the third floor of City Hall between the time Ms. Brown left for work on the afternoon of January 9, 2025, and her arrival on the morning of January 10th. Those employees were interviewed. Each was asked if they would provide a buccal swab for DNA testing if needed. Every employee agreed, except for Ms. Brown. Initially cooperative, Ms. Brown later requested that the investigation be discontinued. The noose was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for DNA testing on January 14, 2025. On January 24, 2025, A search warrant was approved by the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office for Ms. Brown's DNA, and a DNA sample was obtained that same day. On January 27, 2025, Ms. Brown's buccal swab was submitted to the Bethlehem Regional Crime Lab of the Pennsylvania State Police for comparison with DNA profiles recovered from the noose. On March 10, 2025, the Forensic DNA Division of the Pennsylvania State Police issued a written report indicating that Ms. Brown's DNA matched the DNA profile obtained from the swabs of both the outer surface and inner knotted portion of the noose after it was taken apart. No other person's DNA profiles found on the evidentiary items involved in this investigation. As a result of this investigation earlier today, Detective Harold Bonds of the Allentown Police Department filed charges against LaTarsha Brown at District Court 31-2-01 for the criminal offenses outlined earlier by Chief Roca. Thank you.
Okay. This is just something that is to teach us all a lesson. Let's not jump to conclusions until we've got some hard evidence. Okay. You saw before this clip, all these people of color out here in the streets talking about it's racism, this is terrorism, our employee, our colleague. Oh no. And they rushed to judgment, and it was her. Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. This is so embarrassing. And this is a crime to make up a crime. Okay, you got people out here in these streets in the cold. This happened in January in Allentown, Pennsylvania. City employee LaTarsha Brown. That is, I think God in his infinite grace and mercy and wisdom is trying to show us to stop being so triggered by skin color. It's just melanin. Some have more than others. Okay, and that's all it is. It means nothing. It doesn't mean that a person's going to love you or treat you better because they resemble your same ethnicity or skin color. I think I've said this on this channel a number of times so that people can honestly get it. And in that clip at the very beginning, that young Black lady was saying that Democrats get us all emotional when it comes to skin color. They get us emotional. And you see how as soon as something happens to a Black person, or it looks like it was a white person that probably did it, we just run out in the streets like this with our blowhorns, and we got everybody, and we chanting like this. I'm like, go sit down till some hard evidence comes out. And you all remember Jussie Smollett? It happened in 2019 when he said some MAGA folks beat him up and called him all kind of names. Oh, Lord. Look, let's just get it together, okay? We are one race, human race. Don't let the demon rats and the folks in the media. The media is Satan's playground, okay? He loves, and he playing a lot in these so-called churches as well. I mean, I'm sick and tired of it, but I got to revisit this whole Jussie Smollett thing. I want to cement it in our minds. My channel is it's not just about politics. It's about learning and seeing a trend and going, hey, I've seen this before. History repeats itself. Wait until some hard evidence comes in. Just wait. Stop jumping to conclusions. And now those folks going to be looking stupid. We ran out here in the freezing cold because it happened in January. Like I said, it's cold. And you out there in the cold and you marching for what you think is a good cause. And this woman, I'm not going to call her name. Maybe she got some mental issues. And remember the Duke lacrosse player? I mean, we got to stop making up stuff. Not the player, but the woman who accused several Duke lacrosse players of violating her. And she admitted that it never happened. Oh, so embarrassing. Anyway, I'm going to get to this clip with, we're just going to revisit a little history right here. We just got to revisit a little history, and we're going to learn some things on this channel because people are out here acting stupid. Y'all got to stop acting crazy.
Chicago courtroom Thursday, actor Jussie Smollett learning his fate. The decision comes more than 3 months after a jury found Smollett guilty on 5 out of 6 counts of felony disorderly conduct. Prosecutors argued the actor, who was a part of the TV series Empire, staged a racist and homophobic attack on himself back in 2019 when he told police he was walking home from this Subway shop and 2 men attacked him, yelling racial and homophobic slurs and putting a noose around his neck. They say he instructed those two men to do it. Authorities began questioning Smollett's story when he declined to fully cooperate with the investigation. However, Smollett maintains the attack was not a hoax, and the defense argued authorities rushed to judgment.
There is a presumption of innocence. That was non-existent in this case.
Two brothers, former extras on Empire, testified Smollett hired them to carry out the attack. Smollett took the stand and accused those brothers of trying to extort $2 million from him, but the brothers deny that accusation. Smollett's lawyers have said they plan to appeal the conviction and that Smollett is 100% confident he will win.
So this was proven a hoax as well. Okay. So yeah, so God in his infinite grace and mercy, and I'll be honest, I used to try and hire, we would try to hire Black people for different things just because, melanin, and in some cases you can't, okay, there's plenty of qualified Black people in all areas, but you got to do your research to get qualified folks. And I don't care what color, just come on in. Whoever's got the best price and the best product is what I'm looking for right now. And we all make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. Hopefully we learn from our mistakes, and we all make mistakes. We're human, right? But yeah, I hate that. I hate all these things that are happening, and it's just gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand. So the next thing we got to talk about is this whole signal chat. Seemingly, maybe it's a hoax. I don't know. Looks like Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, sent out a message on this Signal app that the politicians in DC use is supposed to be more secure and all of that. It looks like a reporter from The Atlantic got a hold of it, and it just went everywhere. And now Tulsi Gabbard and the director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, were at Capitol Hill recently testifying about this. But they assured us, and they seemed very confident, that there was no classified information. So let's not use that again. And now you got the demon rats out here calling for Pete Hegseth to be gone. Now, you can be for sure that this was something that the demon rats are doing. These people are out here trying so hard. The media is complicit with covering planes falling out of the sky. Planes always fall out of the sky in excess of 100 a month. I know that sounds scary, but I looked it up. I don't know how true it is. Allegedly, 100 planes or so fall out of the sky a month, allegedly, in America. And I'm looking at that going, wow, I don't remember seeing newscasts about that many planes. Now it's probably fewer than that, but they're going to keep rotating those same incidences to make people not want to fly, and it can hurt the industry. They're trying to hurt this country. And this is a play on the media. They just regurgitate the same thing. If they can't find something, they'll make up something. I'm telling you, I'm not falling for that anymore. But here is Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth answering a reporter, okay, about this whole thing with this Signal app.
Can you share how your information about war plans against the Houthis in Yemen was shared with a journalist in The Atlantic? And were those details classified?
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would love to comment on the Houthi campaign because of the skill and courage of our troops. I've monitored it very closely from the beginning. And you see, we've been managing 4 years of deferred maintenance under the Trump administration. Our troops, our sailors were getting shot at as targets. Our ships couldn't sail through. And when they did shoot back, it was purely defensively or at shacks in Yemen. President Trump said, no more. We will reestablish deterrence. We will open freedom of navigation, and we will ultimately decimate the Houthis, which is exactly what we're doing as we speak from the beginning, overwhelmingly.
Why were those details shared on Signal, and how did you learn that a journalist was privy to the targets, the types of weapons used?
I've heard it was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
So nobody was texting war plans, according to Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. And also, I'm going to show you a little bit of Tulsi Gabbard at the Capitol talking about this very thing. And this is supposed to be, again, a very secure app. It's called Signal. And I'm going to show you what looks like an example of what could have been the text messages that went through. But again, it stated that this was not classified information that went through on this. And I am just wondering, it looks like, and I got another clip I'm going to show you from another podcaster, and I'm going to try to make this quick. I don't want to be here too long, but there's so much information I want to share with you guys. And let me get to Tulsi Gabbard and her here. Let's see. Oh, let me find Tulsi. Tulsi was saying that it was not classified information, and I'm not able to quickly locate that at this. Oh, here she is, right here. There she goes. All right. Here's Tulsi Gabbard on Capitol Hill testifying about this. Let's see what she has to say.
Contact the defense secretary or others after this specific military planning was put out and say, hey, we should be doing this in a skiff?
There was no classified material that was shared in that.
So then if there was no classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. These are important jobs. This is our national security.
And she said that there was no classified.
Bobbing and weaving and trying to, filibuster your answer. So please answer the contact the defense secretary.
So it wasn't, according to her, no classified information on that. And finally, I'm going to share with you guys some information from a podcaster. His name is Stephen Gardner, and he's giving a little bit more context with with Charlie Spearing of the Daily Mail. And this is Stephen Gardner right here, and I've got it queued up for you guys. So let's hear what he's going to say here. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, it's a pretty extraordinary situation where you have, I think it's as many as 18 people on the president's national security team communicating in a Signal chat. And I don't know if you use Signal, Stephen, but it's an app that is supposed to be more secure than typical SMS texting. When you send texts, they only appear for a short time before they're deleted and disappear. So this is kind of a thing that everyone in Washington uses this app because it's a slightly more secure way to have communications without people screenshotting and sharing your stuff, or without archiving it and being able to go back and look at these old texts and use them against your enemies. So a lot of people, like Jasmine Crockett, Democratic representative, was just talking this weekend about how everybody on Capitol Hill, all of the Democrats, House Democrats on Capitol Hill, are part of a very large group chat where they share gossips and rumors about stuff going on the Hill, and encouraging everyone, get on Signal because that's the best way to communicate. So it's a very popular app used to communicate on these situations. And in this case, it was, the biggest figures in the entire administration all communicating on this thread. And what's interesting is that oftentimes a lot of the actual communications part is being run by a staffer for the vice president or a staffer for Pete Hegseth. It's unclear whether it's they're identified in the chat as Pete Hegseth, Mike Walls, JD Vance, etc. But it's unclear exactly whether it's the person himself or a staffer communicating for the person. And in some cases in this article, so the Atlantic, so the only reason this is public, the only reason we know anything about this is because they inadvertently, whoever was either Mike Walls or a staffer working for Mike Walls, inadvertently added Jeffrey Goldberg's Signal identity to the chat. And so that allowed an unprecedented access to this long list of White House officials all talking about this military strike against the Houthis in Yemen. And that's what kind of why we're in this situation today, is he ultimately preserved the chat somehow, probably took photos of his actual phone before they disappeared, and ultimately decided to publish details of this chat.
So publish details of the chat. So one of you posted just now in the chat that this app uses contacts from your phone. To me, that's not very secure if it's going to use contacts from your phone. I mean, contacts, you know, I don't know. They made a mistake seemingly, but it looks like no classified information was shared. But I am going to show you what is out there on social media. So allegedly, this is coming from, this is information from the text itself. And just to show you guys this right here, it says JD Vance at Pete Hegseth. If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Let's make sure our messaging is tight here. And if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic, but Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet who can do this. Nobody else. Close. Question is timing. I feel now that is a good time to serve any given POTUS direction to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space. And this is SM. As I heard it, the president was clear green light, but we soon make clear to Egypt and Europe what we expect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. If Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return. Now, honestly, that doesn't sound like anything to, I don't know. It doesn't sound like anything like major that's really classified. That's supposed to be hush hush. It doesn't really. It doesn't. They're trying to make something of it. They're trying to make it look like, and then the media is complicit, and they're going to keep playing it and playing it and playing it, and that's what they're going to do. And then the next time I go get my hair done, I got to listen to the 92% who voted for Kamala. Yep. And I can't help it because 92% of Black women voted for her. And, you know, that's just crazy. So anytime I go to the hair salon, I got to just sit there and bite my tongue. You guys pray for me because it is difficult. Okay. And I'm not good about doing my hair myself. So that is what we got. Now, I want to end this broadcast with something very special. Don't go anywhere just yet. I want to share this with you. This is a great little something here that I want you all to see. I just want you to see this right here. I don't know what it is over his nose. Like, what is that?
Not a day goes by I don't think about it. Trump's longtime assistant shares what happened after the shooting. I'll never forget him dropping to the ground, shots being fired, him going down, and then him fighting through the Secret Service to get up and not only get his shoe, as you heard on the mic. Let me get my shoes. But the way he got up and lifted his fist and yelled, fight, fight, fight. That's his spirit. And that's the way that man is behind the scenes. Fight, fight, fight. He's been doing that all his life. Then they brought him in and brought him to the hospital. I picked up his hat because the hat fell to the ground, gave it to him in the hospital. And he's there on the phone wanting to know how you guys are doing, how the family's doing. He cared about the people that were in the room, the Secret Service agents, myself. He's a warrior. And that's who the American people have leading this country.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness.
All right. I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you all so much for joining me on this live stream. Be back tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. Join me. And we're going to have some clips, latest news, and maybe a little something funny. I really appreciate you supporting me on this channel. Like this video, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications. Thank you all so much. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.